Great day. How y'all doing? I appreciate y'all, showing up. It's been a long time overdue, so I just wanted to. It's a new start for me, going forward, just putting some closure to my New York Giant tender. I didn't play for anybody else, so I just wanted to say thank you to the organization, the owners, the mayor, the Tisch family. The player personnels, the people that were responsible for bringing us in and doing and conducting themselves how they did, so they can get athletes like myself in here. I know at one point in time they talked the New York Giants had one of the hardest, the Wonderlink test and player personnel and being able to bring players in. So I passed that, so I feel good to be here, and I felt like it came underneath a lot of attention to details taken. So to all the people that was a part of it, it takes a village, and from facilities, from strength and conditioning, training room. I just want to send my complete thank you and appreciation to all of those players that I played with, coaches that I was a part of. Just say thank you.
Corey, why now? It's been 10 years. You've just mentioned something about a fresh start. What's your fresh start, and why 10 years since your last game are you doing this?
Well, I never set out to play football, really and truly, you know what I mean? So I didn't have a plan going forward. That I was just an athlete trying to just make my way in competing. So I didn't plan it coming in, so I didn't have a need to plan it going out. My first thing was when I was done playing ball, I didn't want to play for anybody else. Playing for an organization like the Giants, which is truly the number one organization in sports, and I'm biased because I didn't play for anybody else. So I didn't plan it coming in, so I didn't want to plan it going out. My priority was getting to my family and making sure that everybody had an imprint, and I could see some of them in me. I mean, when we just sign up for this, I know we say family first, but it's hard to say family first when you're putting 16 hours out of the day toward being great. And so I had to be honest with myself. So when it was over, I wanted to dedicate that time, and I wanted to understand how to take the things that I learned from this sport and the positive things, not just all of the things from this sport, but the positive things from this sport, and try to incorporate that in how I raise my family. Not coaching them, but understanding how to bring that to them, and I could see, a little bit of myself in them, and leading with a godly manner and doing that. So that's why. No, and it's 2023, and I wore the number 23, so I thought that was a little significant with, I am fascinated by numbers and things of that nature.
Corey, what has been your second career?
Just raising the family right now. I did some business and things like that, but my time here, I wasn't, and I hope this don't come off the wrong way. I wasn't as friendly, I say, with the media, and I did the interviews and I did the required time, but I didn't want to give up anything that we was doing behind these walls. And a lot of people get here and they'll talk a little bit too much, and they expose some things that becomes bulletin board material for the opposing teams and things of that nature. So whether you do or don't know, I was a big influence outside of the media and things of that nature on this team, on this ground, in the locker room. So with having that responsibility, I wanted to make sure that you guys didn't know that, So with having that responsibility, how I conduct myself and how I move forward, that translates to my teammates and things of that nature. So I hope that answered the question.
Corey, you've had a lot of big moments in your career here. You spent your entire career here. Obviously, there's one moment everybody goes back to on that day in Green Bay. First off, where's the ball, and how much do you think about, or at least are asked about, that moment?
Well, a lot of people always, I could walk around and people don't recognize who I am, but when they do, they ask about, the Brent Favre interception. You're the last guy for Brent Favre in Green Bay Packers uniform. So the ball, Lieutenant Colonel Greg Gaston still has the ball. He always offered to give it back, and he's, the colonel that was, a motivational speaker and a big part of what we was doing in that year. So he still has it, and just being able to accomplish that and know that people always point to say, hey, man, I was doing such and such, or we had a family gathering when that was going on. That's enough for me,
You still take the big thing of winning championships as the takeaway from this?
Most definitely, because what else we do it for? I know other people may have, perspective of, they want to do it for the money, or they want to do it from the fame that comes with it. To me, the ultimate goal is to win a championship. I think that's why you hang the banners around, right? We got 4 hanging right now. So for me, it was whatever I need to do selfless to be able to help put those banners up. And I was able to do that on every level. I won Pee Wee, I won, and when it hadn't been done before at that institution or place. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's just me because it takes a village, like I stated before, but I was able to be a part of championships on every level, high school, college at LSU, and then being able to finish it up here. And I didn't finish the question for you. So going into, most people that I feel like that had that kind of run-in with like the media, they don't turn to media. But I want to do some of the podcasting to be able to, put out my story and tell my own, documented things that we was going in here and kind of give you pull back the curtain kind of feel of what was going on and what was the perspective, in those times of winning some of these championships.
When you walk in here, when you pull up today, are there anything that your mind goes right to? Was it being in the locker room? Is it guys that you think of when you walk in?
Most definitely, there's the camaraderie that you build because each fabric of the building tells a different story. Whether it's a guy that's no longer with us, that went on to the afterlife. I told the story of being drafted in 2005, and the owner at the time was still here, right? Mr. Wellington. I can remember him being on the field with his always had the hat on, but with his, I would call it a camping chair, like a little contraption he had that you pull out, sit on the field, and watch the practice. So I think that's kind of what this franchise do, what it stands on, what type of work it is, right? We see our own on the field all the time, and that inspires us to want to be better. So it has moments like that all throughout, seeing the different individuals, whether it's from the training room, whether it's from the cafeteria, whether it's from Jose facilities, remembering all those things, all that bring up memory. And then I get to share with my family, being able to, I have an 8-year-old, so, he likes to ask, why are we a Giant fan? So I think it's a bit easier to describe and show him why we are a Giants fan now. And I think, I got him on the hook forever, as far as being a Giant fan. But, so things like that, him seeing, okay, he wasn't here long. The older guy was, family-wise, he was here to be able to see some of these things. So that's what it does, coming in this building and seeing some of the same familiar faces and then knowing the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into it.
You have any relation? I saw Dory Jackson stop and say hello to you. How closely do you follow the team? Do you have any relationships with any of the guys?
No, I don't have any, and that needs to change, but I don't have any relationship with the guys. But now that I feel like I have the family aspect of it, in control. I did the same thing to LSU. I was able to speak to the team this past season. We want to be in the national championship every year, just like we want to be in the Super Bowl every year. So hopefully those type of things can continue now. But yeah, a few guys did stop by to say hello and, just tell me about, the appreciation of my time being here and things like that. So
I know you're a big LSU guy, as you said. Like that quarterback?
Yeah, I think he's, I was just talking about him. I think everything he stands for is great. He's a quiet guy, but he's a student of the game. He's a true profession. I think I was talking about, I don't like that he get hit a little bit because, he uses legs, so I think he can get better at that aspect. But I think the sky's the limit when it comes to his ability and the things that he can be able to do. And with football, you have to say, stay healthy on that side of things,